Hello there, it's Amanda Fitzgerald, and this is the Profitable PR Show. I'm running a series all about my PR FAQs, and I hope that I'm going to be answering one of your FAQs. So here goes. Today's FAQ is this: what is a press hook? Or you could even be asking me, what is a news peg? Okay, this is what journalists want to know when you are pitching to them. So you don't just go and pitch to the press and go, hey, I got a fantastic business. It needs to be featured by your publication, by your broadcast outlet. No, they need to know why your business or your profile should be featured. What's in it for their readers, what's in it for their listeners, and what's in it for their audience, okay? So what is the press hook? What is the reason? What are you going to be hooking your story to when you're pitching to the press? So an example of this is a very, very old-fashioned one, but I love it. It's one of those out there ones. It's quite a creative one. It's when the US Embassy was about to be opened in the UK, all right? And it was just when the lovely Donald Trump had just been elected to office, and he refused to come over to the UK, to London, to do the grand opening of the embassy. So what happened? He refused. So Madame Tussauds heard all about this, and they thought, oh my goodness, we're going to ride on this wave here. We're going to newsjack this story. So what they did was they wheeled out the waxwork of Donald Trump and positioned it just in front of the US Embassy. And then he was standing there, you know, like he is in his posing position for the, for the Waxwork Museum. And then the world's media literally gathered around and was snapping him up, saying, well, if he can't make it, Madame Tussauds has made Donald Trump make it. That's just an idea of how you can kind of newsjack a story. It doesn't have to be Donald Trump, and it doesn't have to be Madame Tussauds. You can just think about what is going on in the calendar that might be very relevant to you. Is it World Health Day? Is it, Dementia Day? What are the awareness days? The journalists are always looking to talk about something in the calendar that is happening. Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, those are very obvious ones. But we actually have a planner, a PR planner, which is in my website, amandapr.com, where you can download up to 70 key dates in the calendar. And you can actually see what you can peg or hook your story to. So let's say Wimbledon has just happened. You could be thinking of, if you're a mental health expert, 5 ways how to, how to gear yourself up mentally when you're facing a huge challenge. And that's all to do with Wimbledon. Just think about any other reasons. Like, I think there's National or International Password Day. If you're a cybersecurity expert, 5 ways on how you can avoid the hackers hacking you, or something like that. So that is a hook. Another way is what is going to make your item newsworthy or timely is that you actually need to listen to the news. You need to tune into the news, and you might hear that suddenly there's going to be a government legislation that is really relevant to you. I was working with a client who was a domestic abuse survivor, and she'd written a book about her, her childhood. And we managed to get her some fantastic coverage because it was saying the government has just launched an 8 million or an £8 billion fund for survivors of domestic abuse or something like that. And then that was kind of like our angle to showcase her book, because, we weren't running out of ideas, but it was like a brand new idea that we could like ride on the back of. Or have you just done a survey within your industry, or are you hearing statistics within the industry? What is breaking news within your industry that you can comment on? You can actually pitch yourself as a thought leader or a commentator to the news channels, and that'd be a really good way to do it, as well as to the printed press. So those are just a few ways. So basically it's a survey, it's an awareness day, reacting to a government announcement or a legislation, and just thinking my press hook needs to be timely or be reacting to what is going on. For example, I was promoting my big fat swim I did recently for Afghanistan. It was Amanda Swims for Afghanistan. I was doing 4 kilometers and I was raising £2,500. I spoke to a local BBC journalist, and he said, but, what can I peg? He was thinking out loud, thinking, so what can I peg this to? And I said, well, actually, it's nearly August. So you could peg it to the fact that the Taliban have, it's been nearly a year, unfortunate anniversary of them taking over, governing the country. And then a very horrible and unfortunate thing happened, which was the big earthquake, which then might have made my story much more relevant, because, you know, people are talking much more about Afghanistan now, whereas it kind of had been forgotten, because, you know, we talk about the Ukraine war all the time, but Afghanistan still also needs to be brought to the fore. So that was an actual reason and an angle. Another reason and angle why I got into the press, why I was invited to then speak on BBC Radio Essex, and that was because my pitch was saying, single mum, 52, swims 4K for Afghanistan. So my angle was, you know, that I was doing it. So that was the idea. It was almost like a launch idea, and the fact that I'm a single mum, that I'm 52, and it's not every day that people are doing something like that. So maybe also unusual things. Just think, basically, why do we read the press? Why do we watch the press? Why do we consume it? It's mainly to do with human interest elements, stories, okay? So what is your human interest piece that you can add to the press? And it might be of great interest. So don't hide, share. There's our music. Bit of musicola, and thank you so much for watching. And I will now press pause on the music and say, if you'd like to have any more information, or if you'd like to have a call with me, go to amandapr.com/apply.